how funny would it be if they did find Bigfoot and they just like strangled him in the night?
There's a grave with just big toes sticking out of the ground.
Right, buried him so that way they could keep the show going.
Welcome to the Nerd News Podcast, starring Tyson Cox and Tyler Waltz.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Nerd News Podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Cox. Joined with me is my co-host,
Tyler Waltz.
How you doing, you nerds? You have a good week? Let us know. How'd you do? What games did you play? What games didn't you play?
Yeah, a good week with a long weekend.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
This will be our first Tuesday episode. We're switching to bi-weekly.
Yep.
Which could be twice a month or 8 times a month. Hang on a minute.
Twice a week.
No, it's so bi-weekly?
Yeah.
You mean twice a week or once every 2 weeks?
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
It does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
0%.
I don't know. You'll find out.
Well, yeah. Are we doing it a bunch or a little? It's a bunch.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
All right. What up? How you doing, Tyler? How was your week?
Pretty good. Yeah, just pretty much a standard week. We had our dog show that we talked about last time. That was a lot of fun.
Every comic had a dog take a big old dump right in front of it.
Every comic had at least one dog. I think DJ had 2 dogs.
DJ had 2 dumpers.
He also had the longest set.
He did.
So
Yeah,
statistically most likely to happen.
You know, that's what I like about Metazoa. They supply you a dog pooping every 15 minutes.
But yeah, so Metazoa was the show that I did this week. And yeah, other than that, just kind of chilled.
Nice. You do anything nerdy? You do anything fun?
Started putting together some stuff for the Monster of the Week for a campaign that me and some friends are running.
Nice. Super fun game, by the way. If you guys have never played it, Monster of the Week, fantastic. Real fun system.
Yeah.
My wife's been out of town, so I've just been being a drunk monster.
Hell yeah.
I got to play 15 minutes of Tony Hawk.
Oh, nice. It was the free game for PlayStation.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
we
good.
Actually made a joke about how you don't play those, and now you're a liar.
We all knew that. I'm a fibster.
I've also been playing that, actually.
I downloaded God of War.
Okay, cool.
I have not played it yet.
It's extraordinarily fun.
I've heard.
I got through most of it. I didn't quite finish it. That is an incredibly long game.
That's the part of that's like intimidating to me. It's like so I loved Red Dead Redemption 2, but it was long.
Yeah.
I kept being like, oh, this is it. Oh, he's got another plan. Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic game.
It's always one more.
Yeah. So are there any games that so I'm getting into it late and I feel like I kind of missed the initial boat. Do you have any games that you wish you played?
So actually about 3 days ago, I started playing Mass Effect for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I was playing the first one and I got about halfway through and then my dog at the time caught the PlayStation cord, scratched the disc, and I've never got to play it again.
Oh, man. So I will say one thing. I am enjoying the world building a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The first one definitely feels dated, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
I know it's the Legendary collection. It was on sale for like $20, so I got it. And
Mr. Moneybags?
Yeah, right. But like, for example, I love KOTOR. I love Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite childhood games. But I can openly admit that with how the game is built, if you never played it before, it's tough.
Okay.
Like the mechanics, it feels dated with, like it's just an old game and you can tell.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about like mechanics and gameplay getting updated. Like Borderlands 2 feels so different compared to Borderlands 3.
Oh, completely.
Because you can't mantle. That's now a must in most games.
A mantle?
Where you hop up ledges.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's called mantling.
Good to know.
Mantle.
But yeah, so I'm playing through the first Mass Effect. It's extraordinarily fun, but I feel myself getting frustrated with the dated stuff.
Have you had any of the faces where they make weird faces?
Yeah.
And, the head turns all the way around?
Not all the way around. It's mostly just the lips of every character just look wrong.
Oh.
Right.
Someone put them on upside down.
Right. Well, it's because obviously your mouth moves in a certain way to say certain letters.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible to say any word with an M in it without your lips touching.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever they string words together, their mouth isn't doing anywhere close to what the letters
it's the
should
dub.
say.
It's got dubbed.
Pretty much.
It's got dub mouth.
But yeah. So other than the dated stuff, I'm having a good time. The controls are weird. Like it's L1 to switch guns.
Can you change that?
You cannot.
That's weird.
You can alter very minute things, like there's like southpaw, so you can make it left-handed and stuff like that.
That never made sense to me because it's both hands doing the thing.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, I get it. I'm left-handed, and when
I'm left-handed.
Yeah, but like when we go to the gun range, we're shooting with our left trigger finger. You know,
I shoot right-handed.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And left-handed. I'm amazing. I'm the best.
If you shoot both-handed, but you don't hit with either hand, I don't know if that
right. Yeah, no.
Right.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Normally the green person's the hostage, Tyson, not the hostage taker.
I need to make some phone calls.
Yeah, or get glasses. But
call me old?
Yes.
Call me bald and old?
I didn't say bald. That was you.
Well, you've implied it.
Nice new hat, by the way.
It's okay. I slept on a couch at a friend's house, so this is slop hair today.
But yeah, so L1 is, and like square is to throw a grenade.
Yeah, okay.
It's like just little things like that.
I remember controls being really weird back in the day like that. So yeah, that makes complete sense.
But also, guns don't reload. Everything overheats.
Because it's the future.
Yeah, but
and air conditioning's not invented.
Right, but in 2 and 3, guns don't overheat. They have clips.
Yeah, they figured out, they're like, we did it bad.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I'm so ingrained that the square button is reload.
Okay.
I will shoot a bunch of rounds, and then I'll hit square and huck a grenade.
Seem like a psychopath.
Yeah, right. Right. But yeah, so it's like the controls are messing with me bad. But no, it's a lot of fun. I wish I would have gotten into it sooner because apparently there was multiplayer back in the day, not for the first one, but for 2 and 3. That I wish I could have got in on, and the Legendary Edition didn't bring back the multiplayer.
I mean, that makes sense. Got to keep the servers up.
Yeah.
Speaking of games you got played too late, World of Warcraft, I always wanted to play it in high school, but I never got the chance just because I had really bad internet and no real good computer. Okay. And so by the time I started to play it, I didn't have any friends that were playing it. And so I made a lot of friends, and I realized that's the thing I really enjoyed about it most, because I always come back for every time the expansion came out, I'd buy it. I'd be like, oh, this is fun. I'd get the new max character, maybe raid a little. And I realized, like, oh, this sucks without people. Yeah,
it does. MMOs bank a lot on that.
Yeah.
Like, I never got into MMOs, but the one that I played back in the day in, like, high school was RuneScape. I mean, in high school, everybody has time.
You out there PKing? You being a real jerk?
PKing.
Player killing?
No. That was never me.
Good. That seems out of character for you not to be you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you seem like the guy that's like, I wanted to get real good so I could stab people.
No, I bully my friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no strangers. They don't.
Why are you so nice to me then? Oh no.
But no, like RuneScape was fun. But in high school, everybody had time.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get out of high school and you start doing your own thing and you don't really have time anymore, I'm not going to go sit there and chop logs for 2 hours to level up wood cutting by myself. I would at least like to have somebody to chat to while I'm doing it.
That's why I think Discord has turned games into more like that feel.
Yeah.
Because my buddy Josh, he'll just sit for hours. Like he'll be watching TV, just chilling on Discord. It's fun. He's got a core group of people he hangs out with.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's interesting. I know there was an article that was written, I think a few years ago at this point, where the very first ever Warcraft player got to max level from picking flowers.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
How much dedication does that take?
It's someone who's already, you know what I mean? Like they had so much time, they beat it so good, they're like, I'm going to do it like this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I do with Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I've beat it so many times, I'm going to go through completely naked, and I'm just going to try and like pop a finger in all their mouths. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, right. And, and that's how I'm going to beat it this time.
Just pop a finger. Have you ever had anyone do that to you?
No, I have. It seems aggressive.
It's so bad. Because it's like your friend. If it was like a random person, it's terrifying.
If it's a random person, you got to go get a blood test.
Yeah, you're like, what'd they do? What does LSD taste like? What did they do to me? What's going on? No, I had a friend. You just talking. He was just. Yeah. At least I hope he had clean hands. You know, I never thought about that. He might have just like itched himself and like, get him.
Right. Does this taste like shit?
Oh, like Overwatch when it was out, like back in the day. Like that was the last game I think I had played with like a group of friends consistently. Like my brother even.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never played Overwatch. I heard it was really good until people got way too serious.
Yeah. Like it started to get into that point where people were like, "You didn't pick a tank. You were ruining my life."
That's what's wild to me because like, what was it? Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
That game became real try hard. Like I can't believe you didn't pick the blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm in casual game mode.
Yeah.
I'm not in ranked. Just let me play.
I'm level 4.
Yeah. Right.
Like League of Legends, Overwatch, League of Legends. Like metas, when the metas take over, it's rough.
It's set in stone. But Overwatch, did you see the announcement? For the second one?
No, what is it?
Okay, so Overwatch 2, once it comes out, you can no longer play Overwatch 1.
What?
Yeah, they're getting rid of I think they're shutting down the servers, but they were like, don't worry. Everything you bought in Overwatch 1 will transfer to Overwatch 2.
So it's just Overwatch 1 again.
Pretty much.
That's
because you did you play the beta to Overwatch 2?
No, I watched a lot of reviews and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Because I remember you saying something to me like it was the same game but worse because they removed one spot.
Yeah, they
Right?
instead of having 2 tanks, it's down to 1.
Okay.
They added a character, but it's all the same characters. It looks the same. It plays the same. The maps are the same, but sometimes they're like, oh, this one's nighttime now. I'm like, that's not a new game.
Okay, so question. You say that there is now 1 tank instead of 2.
Okay, positions. Sorry.
Okay, I thought it was a situation where it's just 4v4 and everybody picks a character.
No. So there is meta types and they used to be like, hey, we need to, like when it was figuring things out, it'd be like, oh, we need a healer, obviously, we need a tank, and then the DPS like, okay, actually we need 2 tanks and 2 healers.
It forces you to pick a tank.
Now it does, yeah.
That seems way worse.
Well, you can queue for the role.
Oh.
So it's like when World of Warcraft back in the day, that's why I love tanking. My queues are like 2 minutes.
Oh.
Healing, instant queue.
Yeah.
But and it's like that sort of
because everybody wants to be the damage dealer.
Yeah, everyone wants to be the DPS. And
I almost always play a healer. Like healers are normally my favorite thing to play.
I'm switching into it because I'm like learning how powerful they are.
Yeah.
I win the game
because you keep everybody else alive.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. But so Overwatch 2, you can no longer play Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's immediate or if it's like after a very short amount of time.
Either way, it's still.
But people in the community are still kind of considering this a win because at the same time they announced no paid loot boxes.
All right, that's good.
Right? Like it's because everybody's like, but overall, maybe a bit of a win, right? Like that's so odd. That's such a weird rug pull and then catch you.
So you just grind it out then?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I wasn't able to get into the meat and potatoes of it, but I know that those were the 2 announcements.
Yeah. Overwatch had a lot. You could just grind out real easy.
Yeah.
Because my brother did it. Because I came over to his place and I was playing next to him and he had like 180 unopened loot boxes. He's like, oh yeah, I already have everything.
Wow.
Or I guess or something like that. He's like, I got everything I want.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, I just want to open 200 at one time. I'm like, oh, all right.
Sure. I mean, that probably feels cool.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, oh, yeah.
I remember when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out. Not the old really good one, the new one.
Yeah.
Their original system was like, it will take you about 30 hours to unlock a hero. Because when the game first came out, you didn't have any heroes. You actually had to play, earn currency, and buy Darth Vader. Or
it was so good.
What was?
The OG Battlefield?
Oh, like for Xbox.
Yeah,
like
back in the day.
Old school Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
it was incredible. I'm pretty sure it's still ranked up there as like fan favorite top 10 of all time.
Wow.
Like Battlefront 2, I think.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It was so fun.
But then after the game was tanking horrible, like review-wise, they were like, okay, all the heroes. Sorry if you purchased the heroes already, but yeah. And then Battlefront also suffered from like, pay $5 to get a loot box. It gives you 10% stronger grenades. And it's like, it's just at that point, I don't want to play.
Anything that you pay to affect like PvP is
which free-to-play games, I'll give you a little bit of wiggle room, but you pay $60 for this game just to be outclassed by somebody who pays $60 and more money.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying that it's okay in free-to-play games. It's just slightly more justifiable.
Yeah, well, because they need to make their money somehow.
Yeah.
But I think that should just be purely cosmetic.
For sure. So. I think I will never complain about cosmetic DLC.
No, not at all.
I'm completely fine because I don't need it. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect anything other than you feel cooler.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a couple of things. I know that Fortnite and League of Legends have a good chunk of my money.
Make a killing.
They have a big chunk of my money at the time.
Have I paid for any cosmetics before?
Probably not, you cheap.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
You
I think
frugal son of a gun.
No, I have. What was it? Oh, Gears of War. I bought all the Gears of War DLCs, like cosmetic stuff.
Oh, okay.
All of it. I loved Gears of War. There you go, bud. Get it out.
Sorry.
Yeah, at least it wasn't the other hole.
Derail the podcast again.
Yeah. Figure it out.
I swallowed water wrong and it's killing. I'm dying. I'm drowning.
But yeah, all the cosmetic stuff for Gears of War I bought 3. I haven't played 4 or 5 much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if it's a game that you like enough to buy the cosmetic stuff, good for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Overwatch 2, a good and a bad, like back to back. Like
yeah,
right? It's like
yeah. So speaking of,
it to me it came off as weird because they knew they were going to upset people, but they like which came first? Did they decide to shut down Overwatch 1 immediately and they were like, hey, we need to soften the blow? Or did they have the really good news and they were like, hey, because of this really good news, we can do a bad thing? You know? Because I don't think those were simultaneous. I think they used one as an opportunity for the other.
it had to be the bad than the good.
I think so too.
Because they're not gonna. It's a company. They want to make as much money as possible.
For sure. And after the reviews and stuff came in of people not liking Overwatch 2 enough, I think that led to the decision of we're gonna force them to play the second one.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
I'm like I want to just play it, but I don't want to buy it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I didn't play the first one, so I didn't. See a point in the second one.
Yeah, I did. But I don't know. It might have a story mode or something, but I'm not going to buy it. I might play it.
Yeah.
10 years when I borrow a copy or it comes out for free or whatever.
My favorite thing about Overwatch was that people were like, oh my gosh, the lore for these characters is so like in-depth and neat. I'm like, is it? Because like...
There's nothing in the game, though.
Yeah, it's nothing in the game. To me, that's a weird concept.
Yeah. Do you like a book?
Right.
That's it.
Do they have books?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because I know League of Legends does, and now they have like the Arcane series and stuff like that.
Arcane was so good.
Yeah, I'm only 2 episodes in. I just started it.
Super good.
Animation, impeccable.
Very interesting animation too.
I love it.
I can't put my thumb on it.
It's pseudo Borderlands.
Yeah, it's almost cel shaded.
Yes, I am a big fan. Big fan. But yeah, no, it's odd the realm that we've fallen into with games where it's like we're willing to take an absolute bullcrap thing if it means a big victory in another thing that we all universally hate.
Yeah, and I think it's not going to be altruism either. Like it's going to be we're going to find out that like loot boxes, paid loot, like they're already getting like banned in Germany and stuff because it's gambling and targeting children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's probably some litigation like that coming down the pipeline.
Well, that was another thing with I think it was Battlefront again, where they got all that backlash for the loot boxes.
Yeah.
And they were like, no loot boxes, none of this, that you're gonna unlock it. And then like in the fine print underneath, it was like loot boxes not for the first 6 months of the game existing.
Yeah.
And then they came back out later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, cool. Thanks for 6 months of something cool, but also not cool because you're forcing us to basically buy characters in a way.
Yeah.
And then still inevitably having the loot boxes.
Yeah.
Like it's a wild world that we live in when it comes to like monetization in games.
Yeah.
And we also probably sound old. Like if we have younger viewers, they're probably
they have no idea.
Like, yeah, they're like, this is the standard. Like what are these guys complaining about?
Because it didn't used to be this way back in the day.
I remember when you bought a game, it was buggy, and you just bought a game, and it's not going to be.
And that was it. Yeah, you didn't have the internet to tell you if it was good or not.
Yeah,
you're like, I liked the cover.
Yeah, pretty much.
You bothered the storekeep to open the back of the case or the back of the case so you can look at the back of it.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Multiplayer.
Good thing I definitely have friends.
Yes. Yes. I will invite people over and they will not arrive.
I saw an argument online for why it's okay for games to be released as buggy messes now. Because like that's something that infuriates me. Like Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Will always be remembered to me as a nightmare because of how it released.
So I was wearing a shirt that said Mothman on it, and a guy came up to me and goes, "Oh, you're a 76er." I was like, what? He goes, your shirt. I'm like, oh yeah, I love Mothman. Yeah, 76.
He's existed before that game.
Yeah, but I was like, what? I didn't know. I was like, what are you, 76? It was 76. And it was like one of those things. I was like, am I going insane right now? I was like 70. Like, what are you talking about? Like Fallout 76. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with Mothman?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, all the big bads are like the cryptids. I was like, oh, no, I just like Mothman.
Which Mothman Festival this month, right?
You going to Mothman Fest?
Yeah.
I can't decide if I'm gonna dress up or not.
Oh, I gotcha. I still don't know if I can go, but I really want to.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, because when is it?
17th, 18th September.
Oh, so it's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right.
I think I'm leaving work early Friday, and me and the lady and a couple of friends were getting an Airbnb about 40 miles away.
Nice.
Because that's the cheapest thing that they had available. Because the town is like 2,000 people, and then like 100 million people come for this festival for 2 days, and like give the town all of their money for the year, and then leave.
100 million people.
No, yeah,
a third of America.
Yeah, it's
in
crazy.
Small town West Virginia. Wild.
Well, it's on the Ohio border, so that helps.
Yeah. Wait, what?
It's on the Ohio. No, it's in West Virginia, but it's like right near the edge of Ohio.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it really. I don't know I want to know how many people come, but like a ton of people come.
Yeah.
Every year, and that makes millions of dollars in 2 days.
Yeah. Well, I remember you telling me that story about the guy that was like, "Oh yeah, we love Mothman."
Oh yeah, no, it was great. It was on a PBS show, Memorial Monster or something like that. And the guy was like, man, back in the day when people were always talking about Mothman this, Mothman that, I didn't believe it. And then we got that festival and all them folk come in and spend money. So, yeah, I believe in Mothman.
Yeah, right. I love it. Because that basically sums up the entirety of the logic behind, like, finding Bigfoot in the TV shows.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, we honestly don't care, but people are still watching.
Yeah. Like, we can't find him because we find him, the show's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. How funny would it be if they did find Bigfoot? And they just like strangled him in the night.
It's a grave with just big toes sticking out of the ground.
Right, buried him so that way they could keep the show going.
Oh god!
Oh my gosh,
that would be an amazing movie to make.
It would be
just two dudes find Bigfoot on a Bigfoot show.
Yep,
realize
we copyrighted that. Yeah, you can't take it.
That's ours.
Yeah,
trademark.
Shut it off. But oh man, that would be great. But yeah, cryptids are always fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a good time with that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about something I've been seeing floating around the internet.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons 1 had a bad play test, and now
when you say Dungeons and Dragons 1, I've confused people because they're like, "Oh, first edition."
No,
and I'm like,
that's AD&D.
That's AD. Yeah. It's like it's so dumb.
Yeah.
I hate the name D&D 1.
It's really not good. I think it's 1 D&D.
Is it 1 D&D?
It's one. I don't know.
It's so confusing.
I think it's 1 D&D, and their whole thing is like we don't want to have expansions. We want to have this thing. So I think what they're doing is having since they know a lot of people are getting the online stuff. They're just basically giving themselves carte blanche. Kate Blanchett. They're giving themselves Kate Blanchett to just make changes whenever they want. Versus like, hey, we had to do some errata.
Well, because they've got D&D Beyond now.
Yeah,
so it's easier than ever for them.
Oh yeah, and it'll affect the books and stuff where it's like editions of the edition. I don't know. It's very interesting, but it's getting some backlash. But it's also D&D is getting some backlash nowadays for racism.
Okay.
Which is interesting because there's some stuff I do agree with and don't agree with. Like I like that like Pathfinder and Starfinder has species instead of races.
It makes more sense.
It does.
It makes a lot more sense.
So like I don't know why people are afraid of making that change because it's a good smooth. It's not that big a deal.
Is it a thing where because Pathfinder has species, they now are like, we have this, so it's different?
You know what? That might be
right.
That might be a thing.
Which is why in every zombie thing, they're not zombies, they're Zeds, or they're, you've never noticed that?
I've noticed that.
Crawlers or walkers.
Yeah. Who owns zombies?
Marvel.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's why there's Marvel zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel owns the right
word
to call them zombies.
Wow.
Right?
I always thought it was just because like they're like that always bugged me watching a horror movie and they're like, "Oh,
what are these? Zeds?"
Yeah.
What?
Well, no, it's like they're afraid to call them zombies.
Yeah.
Like they're like if we call them zombies then that seems too on the nose. Nope, no, it's just Marvel just owned the word.
Yeah. Marvel owns basically Marvel owns zombie in the term of like undead.
Yeah.
So,
which is weird because it was like a voodoo thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yep. I think they used it for a story, and because it was never copyrighted before, they were just like, "Poop, this is ours now."
I do love it when domains are like that, like people scoop stuff up. But man,
Yep. So it just blew your mind with that?
Blew my mind. Yeah, not great for podcasting, but my mind is blown.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be like, "What?" You
Yeah.
know, but,
all 10 of our listeners might let us know. Let us know if you knew that.
Yeah, because the reason that I actually looked into it is because I read Marvel Zombies, and I Googled why does Marvel call them zombies but nobody else does?
Why do Marvel have zombies?
Yeah, right. But I was like, why does Marvel call it zombies but nothing else does, other than the original? I think like Day of the Dead was like one of the first things, but
and then that's so wild.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So as you were saying, D&D, races and species.
Yeah, races and species, and then it's also they're getting some heat. Like it's such a very weird and delicate topic too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not pro racism. You know what I mean? Like, but
and cut no.
But I'm not. I said it. No.
Right. Yeah.
But it is like so. People are like orcs are an allegory for black people. Goblins are an allegory for Jewish people.
See, this is the thing that always throws me off because I have, up until this debate started, I never once made any of those connections.
Same.
So
Zero.
to me, it always came off as more, why did those connections pop up to you?
Yeah.
Right? Like you're the one that thought of that or were told by somebody else. But it really says more about the people that make those connections than looking from an outside in at a fantasy world, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of people, I remember debates like this started not around D&D. The first time I heard anything like this was actually about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yep.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say, so I'm with that, like, goblins started out as, because I think that is an actual thing. Like, you can actually look back and people are like
a historical
thing? That is a thing.
Okay. That's
but it's so far detached, because there's a subreddit I was on called Goblin Core, and it's all about like collecting shiny rocks and like bones and like all this weird like nature stuff. Okay. And people were like, hey, you can't call it Goblin Core. That's racist. And people were like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then you actually like you were kind of informed a step back that it was based off this thing, but it was so far ago that it's no longer representing that.
So at some point it became detached.
Yeah. Right. I believe I'm not Jewish, so I don't want to be. I have no real room to talk on this, but to my knowledge, allegedly, there's enough gap now where it's really not a thing, and it is a problem. If you want it to be a problem, I think you know what I mean. Because I don't think people, because like the Harry Potter stuff was a little on the nose.
I got you.
And then you also find out that J.K. Rowling is like
kind of weird,
going off the deep end.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, that might be a thing.
I never really liked Harry Potter. Were they only in the first movie? Because I remember they have to. I actually played the Chamber of Secrets Game Boy Advanced game, and never saw the movie. So I remember the mission where you have to go into the bank.
Yeah, there's like one big bank scene, but like it would be a wild thing if in like book 7, in the middle of the climax, Harry's like, I gotta run to Chase real quick.
Yeah, right.
I gotta get my magic debit card renewed.
But yeah, no, a lot of this would be fixed if they just changed it to species. Yeah. But at the same time, yeah, I guess in my opinion, it's more of a reflection of the people that see that. Yeah. Because it never crossed my mind until it was brought up. Mm-hmm. Period.
Well, right? then dealing with racism in general inside of a fantasy landscape, so the books are just suggestions. Yeah. That's like the number one thing is like, hey, these are just like, hey, we thought these would be fun. Right. Change what you need. Like I ran a game, so I was running a Monster of the Week game in the setting was like 1920 or 1950s, just squashing the cell phones. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. And we were talking before the game, and because you set ground rules, right? Yeah. And so they were like, well, it's the 20s in the South. And like, I'm like, don't worry, racism doesn't exist in this. Oh, yeah, right. There's no racism in this country.
Yeah, you got to squash any form of that.
Yeah, because like, I don't want to be, because there's no fun to be at a table and someone's like, get out of here, you so-and-so. And you're like, no, you get out of here.
You get out of here. I remember, I think it was me and you were sitting down to play a Monster of the Week game. And it was like, what time period is it? And somebody said modern. And they were like, with COVID?
Yeah.
And we were like, no. In Fantasyland, we're not going to bring COVID and the pandemic into our fun monster hunting.
Yeah. I want to hunt monsters.
What are you doing? Let's have fun.
But I want to be able to get toilet paper in this game.
But yeah, no, the world of fantasy is so weird because it reflects entirely on the mentality of the person in the world, right? Like, you can have as much fun as possible, and then somebody can come up and be like, did you know that you're actually doing blank? And you're like, no idea. And two, kind of how dare you for putting that in my head?
Yeah.
Like, this has no issue in my realm. None of anything I'm doing or the world that I live in had anything to do with that. Yeah. And now you're putting it on me.
If you were out there doing like minstrel stuff, like, oh, that's kind of that's kind of bad.
For sure. Yeah.
But if I love playing a goblin.
Yeah.
I love being given I like dirt and worms and like that's fun to me.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking to myself,
go for it.
No, I wasn't gonna be like, I'm Jewish.
Yeah, right.
I like dirt and worms. Yeah. Look at me.
Yeah,
it's not 0%.
No, you had no idea that was even a thing until somebody brought it to you.
Yeah, and I was like, how is that a thing? And I had to look back and go, oh, okay, that kind of is. Yeah.
No, it's wild.
But Uruk-hai and orcs, and people are like, it's an allegory for black people.
It's like, it's not.
According to Reddit, it's
well, there's a lot of shit that's going on according to Reddit.
Yeah,
right.
Oh man, that was a fun time.
But yeah, no, it's weird, and all of it would have been changed if it just said species. Really,
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think, and then give us some topics for next week's discussion. We're winding up for the day, I do believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry if there's a weird edit in the middle. One of us nearly pooped our pants.
It's for you to decide.
And it's not who you thought.
Yeah, right. It's not the assumed pants shitter.
But what do you got going on, Tyler? What do you got coming up?
I don't have any shows coming up right now. I've got a few things in the works, but nothing to announce until they're set in stone.
Excellent. I have a couple of shows coming up. I'm at Puddler's Hall, which is a great name. Puddler's Hall in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You wrote that.
I did. Yeah. I wrote it real bad. Yeah. That's on Friday, and then Saturday I'm at Beer Brewery in Indianapolis, and then the 29th I'm at Flicks Brew House, Carmel, Indiana, with Matt Alano Martin. It's gonna be a good time.
Did you say Flicks Brew House?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm very excited.
Love that place.
We ate a lot of we watched Sonic, and I ate a lot of barbecue mac and cheese.
Yeah, it was arguably the best day of our lives.
It was. I think we're unofficially married from that day.
Yeah, and my girlfriend was there.
I know,
but she gets it. Yeah. But all right. Well, thank you all for watching. Yep.